Welcome to Super Soul Sisters. My name is Jamila Oluka and you're watching UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. It's such a beautiful day today because today we are having a doctor on set and we shall be talking about wellness. When they talk about wellness, you are going to understand how your body works, what you need to do as a Super Soul sister. Because most of the ladies, when we reach 40s, we tend to look at ourselves in a different way. So today I have a doctor who's going to give us all that information. But before we delve into that, I want to welcome her. I know her as Dr. A, but she's going to be telling us her full names and what profession, which venture she is in the medical field. Right now, I want to welcome you, Doctor. You're most welcome to Super Soul Sisters.
Thank you very much. I'm really delighted to be here. Yes, I'm Dr. A, but I'm Dr. Agnes Babra Sinje. But my clients prefer to call me Dr. A. So I go by Dr. A.
Dr. A sounds more interesting to me.
And easier.
Easier because now
come by.
If you start saying Kobusinje, some of us who come from the east and not some of those names are really hard, so we tend to just delve into the first.
I'm a medical doctor by training. I trained in Barra University of Science and Technology. And I've worked both in government and NGOs. I've been in hospitals. But why wellness? I was in the hospitals with very sick children, sick parents, for a long time, for about 13 years. And one day I asked myself, why do I sit here to wait for them to fall sick? And then I attend to them. How about I change the dynamics and I try to reach them before they fell sick? And that is when I made the switch to focus more on preventive medicine. Preventive medicine has taken me into the communities, community health. It's taken me into wellness. And it gives me the background or the foundation for the discussion we're going to have today.
Wow, interesting. You know, when doctors talk, you have a lot of terminologies that you use, but I'm so happy that today, at least I'm understanding a lot of stuff that you're saying. But I want you to take us back, Doctor. You said you trained in Barra University. You had also, and which schools did you go to?
I went to Maryhill High School. Basically Maryhill High School for the 6 years.
Wow.
And then Barra University.
Wow. So you were the good students who went to the same school and then just transited to Barra University.
No, I enjoyed my time in Maryhill for the first 4 years. I loved the approach to the education. It was just not books. It was the values, your career, the confidence, you know. And I was actually crossing into A level. Most of us were retained. So it was just nice to be around the same family and
the same people and the same values.
Yes.
And you know, sometimes changes also, when you change again, it kind of takes you back. Anyway, for today, we are going to focus on wellness.
Yes.
First and foremost, what is wellness? To the layman like me, Jamila, who has not gone to the medical school, when you talk about wellness, what are you trying to tell us?
So wellness, especially, I speak medical wellness.
Yes.
Your ability to be healthy, to be happy with your life, to be content. Like, it's not necessarily about not being unwell, but about living the life to its fullest. You're not sick, you wake up, you have your energy, your moods are right, you don't have some of those mental depression and things like that. So it's a very broad topic, but at the end of the day, for me, it's the background or the purpose to which we should strive to live well. And so that is what wellness is all about. But today, I think I'm going to gear it more towards medical wellness.
Yeah. So now, today, I want you to look at it from your field. You've explained to us it is like a preventive way of living a healthy life. Now, coming from you who is a doctor, many women, the reason as to why we started this program is because many women struggle with so many things in terms of finances, in terms of body shape, in terms of life experiences, day-to-day life. Women tend to hold a lot of stuff nowadays. As you are aware, you've been in hospital. When you look at the rate of women and men who go to hospital, you find women are more, even when you put health camps. Now, today, I want you to focus on women who are maybe from the reproductive stage up to about old stage. How do we approach to being well in terms of weight, in terms of appearance? Because sometimes when we give birth, I remember most of us when we give, like I know of my friends, even me, when you give birth, there's a way your body changes.
Oh, I'm a good example here. The body changes.
Yes, the body changes, the face, and you still, even sometimes in our minds, we remain with the same size that we thought we were. But when you go and put on the dress, it is the dress which tells you, madam, please chill. So if you can help us to approach in that angle, it would help us a lot.
I'll try and categorize today's woman. Yes, that whole range, reproductive health. But I wanted to first start with the working woman. The working women, we are experiencing a lot more distress than we are willing to acknowledge. But if I go by the principles of wellness, our bodies talk to us. Many things disturb us women. There are so many.
Yes.
And we might need many more different sessions to unpack all of them. But I'll start with the one you mentioned. You give birth, your body changes. We gain weight, we start feeling, we lose that confidence in ourselves. We are no longer fitting in the nice little dresses. All the challenges that come with childbirth and motherhood. And I'm raising it first because you see today on social media, there are so many solutions. Everybody seems to have a solution to this weight loss. People are trying all sorts of things. Some are safe, some are not safe. So I'm thinking I could provide a few basic principles.
Please.
To guide the women, or especially those who really want to lose the weight. Our habits, our day-to-day habits matter so much when it comes to losing weight. There are things we ignore, but they are very, very important. For example, having enough sleep. Having enough sleep is very, very important if you're going to lose the weight. Or let me put it this way. The quality of your sleep speaks a lot about your health. Sleep should be at least 8 hours and should be deep sleep. It shouldn't be this sleep where you sleep 1 hour, 1.5, and then you're waking up, like you keep interrupting it. That is a disturbed sleep. So it's not quality sleep. And it should make you know that something is not well with you. Either you're dehydrated, or you're hungry, or you're stressed, or something in the system is not okay. That's why your sleep gets interrupted. The other thing is also weight loss, getting back into shape. It will take both exercises, it will take dieting. But exercise contributes only 20% of the weight loss and getting back into shape. 80% is diet. And there are so many ways to go about the diets. The common one is what you eat. So people get selective. I'll not eat this, I'll not eat that, I'll not eat that, okay? But it's not sustainable, especially in our day-to-day. Sometimes it's very expensive. The second one, which is a bit more sustainable, is losing weight by when you eat. Like you rearrange your meals and have a period where you're not eating and then a period where you're eating. We call it intermittent fasting. And how does this help you? There is what you're taking in, the calories. It's like a car. If you take in a lot of fuel, the tank will keep some. With the body, when you take in a lot of calories, the body stores them as fat under your skin or around the organs. Okay. Now, for the body to release those fats, it requires conditions. One, you need to stop taking in more fuel for the car to burn the fuel that is already in the tank.
Yes.
Okay. But two, there are also certain circumstances or conditions that are required for your body to be able to actually burn fats. We have a hormonal influence. Some hormones influence or they instruct the body whether to burn fat or not. In other words, the car will not burn fuel if it's stationary. The car needs to burn fuel when it is maybe moving, you're driving properly. Okay? The injector pumps are working well, the fuel pumps are, you understand?
Yes.
So there are other small conditions that we need to fulfill for the body to ably release that stored fat. Okay? And one of those is the hormone insulin. Those who are diabetic, I know they've had a lot of sessions around insulin. So when you want to lose weight, it's a balance between what you're taking in versus what you're putting out. Okay? I like the latter, the intermittent fasting, because it allows your body, what you took in at supper, it gives your body time to burn it all, plus burn some stored fat before you give it more food. So when you make that a lifestyle, you don't have to do it in a way that strains you so much. You need a way that is sustainable, something that you can manage, okay? Maybe 16 hours and then have 8 hours where you can eat, or those who are stronger, 18 hours and they have 6 hours to eat. Make it lifestyle. And if I ate supper, I should allow the body time to digest all this food. But during that time, the body needs, our car needs to be well serviced. Our car has to have proper tires to move, And what are these other things I'm talking about? You need to be well hydrated. During that fasting, what we call fasting. Fasting means you're not taking in sugar, you're not taking in starch. You need to drink enough water. You can take dry tea, no sugar, coffee, no sugar, or sometimes, you can put some little lemon for flavor, that is acceptable. But you need to be well hydrated for the body to burn fat. If you are dehydrated, the body, it's like you're signaling the body that I'm in a state of starvation. There is no water, there is no food. So the body will hold on to the fats, okay? You trigger those mechanisms which help us to live longer during a starvation mode. So we need to be able to strike a balance there. The other are the electrolytes. During that period of you're not eating, it is important at some point to add salt into, because you balance electrolytes. But today you find people as fasting, continue, like no water, no nothing, okay?
Doctor,
you find them...
They tell us to fast. Like now if we are to fast, there is what they call dry fasting. You fast without anything for 3 days, You fast from like the whole day, you don't eat anything. Remember, you are fasting, but the way I am here talking to you, I can be when I'm fasting. And then from here, you go somewhere else. So it is just something that is happening. So how does this, I don't know even, you just got it telling us.
No, thank you for bringing it. I know the dry fast, there is a religious perspective to fasting. I'll not go into it. I'm not a guru in that area. But ideally, from the medical perspective, when you fast, you allow the body to burn the glucose and to start burning fat, okay? That fat, in the form of ketones, gives you a lot of energy. So you should fast and remain energetic. You should have a very alert brain, You feel a lot better about yourself during an intermittent fast. As opposed to the other fast, you ask people who do that dry fast. You observe them in the afternoon. Their lips are dry, they are weak and dizzy, they are irritable because the body is struggling to deal with no food and no water. Okay? So for us, from a medical perspective, we do not recommend a dry fast. If you've chosen not to give the body food, no sugar, no starch, then it's going to start burning. It loses actually more water as it tries to burn fat. Ensure that you give the body enough water. How do you know how much water you need to take a day? Get your weight, divide it by 30. So for most of us, it will be 2 to 3 liters, okay, of water. And you don't have to take it as plain water all the time. Take it as dry tea, take it as herbal teas, take it as plain, but please do not put sugar. And when we say sugar, we also refer to the honey. And, honey is sugar.
Doctor, actually, thank you very much today for mentioning that thing of honey. Most of the people say that, I don't take sugar. I just use honey and lemon. I don't take sugar. I just use honey. So just help us understand. Is there sugar in honey or it is not there?
Sugar and honey it's sweet. It's for us. It's about taste. Okay, but they have calories.
Wow.
And a lot of calories. And actually, when you take them in, the body burns those calories to generate energy. So if you're taking in calories, the body will not burn the ones you've stored. So please, honey is sugar. Okay? Yes. When we are doing an intermittent fast, we stay away from sugar. We stay away from starch. We even, ideally, there are some people who say, okay, maybe I take juice. As long as you're going to take juice that comes from a fruit that does not have sugar. Because now if you're doing intermittent fasting and you're taking banana juice, banana juice is
banana
sugar.
Mixed with the mango, with the passion fruit, with the pineapple, because they tell us you do juicing only. I've ever done juicing and my skin just started being flawless, but the body remained the same.
Yeah. Now then, when you unfasting, we need to unfast in a healthy way. With light foods, maybe a soup, something light. Allow the stomach to adjust, and then you can have your proper meal. We avoid unfasting with things like snacks, like very sweet biscuits, cakes, juice, soda. You cause an energy crash. The body actually crashes. Okay, so it is best when you're unfasting to also look into how do you safely unfast. Now there is no one formula fits all. We all have different bodies, different environments, different abilities. We all want to achieve different things. Some want to feel healthy, some are fighting diabetes, some are fighting weight, some have been told your hormones are not balanced. So whatever the reason, for you to know which way to go as far as fasting is concerned, I recommend that you consult. Have somebody work it out with you and develop for you your own personalized plan.
What about now water, doctor? That's another thing, because as you've said, internet can tell you can survive on water alone. I have met people who only drink water, and they drink a lots and lots of water, and actually they lose weight, But you find someone has lost weight, but they are looking weak. The body is shaking. So what does that mean?
It takes me back to what was your purpose? What do you want to achieve? Personally, when I lose weight, I want to have my body toned. So I would lose the fat, but I need to make sure my muscles and protein, I need to build my... Okay, if you want to have a healthy body, it's like building a house. You're not going to build a house in the absence of raw materials. Okay? Now, what we are doing is trying to remove the fat, but we're not providing the body with the raw materials to reconstruct this body. Okay? So that's why we say when you do the fasting, in the period where you've unfasted, let your diet be heavy on protein. Take in enough protein, because that protein, the collagens, the roughage, they're very key in helping us to reconstruct our bodies. Okay? So you don't want to lose weight and you're saggy. No, it doesn't make sense. Okay.
What about now? People say you are eating too much meat, you're going to gain weight. You're eating too much chicken, you're going to... This woman likes chicken and she's going to put on a lot of weight. So clarify to us, because for me, from what I know, most of the doctors said concentrate on protein, the way you've said protein. But some people can tell you, think chicken is cheap. Don't eat chicken, don't eat meat, don't eat it. Only have nakati, sukuma wiki, what is this other thing? Spinach. And that's what we are told to eat sometimes. And we've seen people really, some people even die within that period of time.
So there are different ways of losing weight. There are different diets. There are those who have the diet plan that eliminates foods for a particular period of time. You can't fast forever. Or you can't be on nakati and the greens forever. Because those are not giving you protein, They are not giving you all the, okay, you're getting some vitamins and minerals from it, but that's not all it takes to construct or keep a body, the integrity of a body. So yes, there might be a phase where they'll say take them. That is one, that may be a diet plan. I'm not very familiar with that, and I actually don't like it because it's not very sustainable. I prefer a diet where you maintain everything that you should eat, okay? But the timing of when you eat them is what we influence, okay? So if you had your last meal at 7, for example, or 8 in the night, between there you can just take some dry coffee, dry it. You don't put sugar and salt, don't put sugar or starch again in the system. Sleep, even while you're sleeping, the body is working, okay? So we also count the hours of sleep. In the morning, wake up, give the body some dry tea, dry coffee, get busy, and maybe have your first meal at around midday. You'll find you've done up to 16 hours of fasting. Within 16 hours, if we follow the body metabolism, by around 8 hours, 12 hours, all the food you took in has been digested. Some of the stored glucose, the glucagon, has also been digested. And by 16 hours, your body has started burning some of the fat that you had done what? You had stored. But remember, do not deny the body water. You must be well hydrated. Okay?
Doctor, another thing I wanted to consult with you, because I want to help people who are out there. Because I come from a family where people really have extra bodies. I think it's a gene. We have a gene. And there are some people who have seen, for me at least, I've maintained, those who know me that Jamila, from the time she was a child, she has always been this chubby. But I have friends who are now more bigger than me, and they used to be like sticks. In fact, at school, we used to call them matchstick figures. But now they are humongous. They are big. And when
bigger than me?
Not really, but
no, but I get what you're saying.
But they are trying to lose weight, and I have a colleague. I won't say her name, but she one time got into that kind of fasting, and she was all enthusiastic, and she actually lost weight. But along the process, she got pressure, and then certain time she collapsed, like she blacked out just when she was fasting. So what do you have to tell people who are out there? Because people just go into fast. Doctor, people just say, you just wake up and start. We don't even care what. You just say, I'm going to start on Monday. You have not seen a doctor. You have not seen what. What should we do so that people can get the right information from you?
The first thing is get as much information as you can about fasting and the different types of fasting and their benefits. So not even fasting, the diets. I just wanted to first take you back a little bit on you eat a lot of meat, you eat a lot of chicken. If you have chosen to use a keto diet to lose your weight, then it makes sense that you're eating more protein than you're taking carbs. Actually, you're taking more protein and fats, okay? Eating protein and fat to make the body lose fat.
So you have to eat fat again, like chisavu.
Okay, our bodies can get energy from 2 sources, from sugar and starch, or they can get energy from fats. But sugar and starch is easier for the body to use to get energy. So as long as it is in the body will resort to sugar and starch.
Yes.
Now, to change the settings of your body, to start using fat, you start denying it sugar and fat, and sugar and carbohydrates, and start introducing fats. It will be forced to use the fats that you are taking in, and you can't take much fats. So when it takes in, you're tricking the body to know that there is another source of energy called fats. When the ones you've taken in are burnt out, it will quickly switch to the ones that are what? That are stored. Okay? But these are not approaches for everyone. Not everyone can use any diet. For example, if you're going to go for the keto diet, you'd need a proper wellness check. If you're diabetic already, or pre-diabetic, or you're prone to diabetes, or you have issues with insulin resistance and things like that, then you're going to need guidance on how you're going to go about it. If you already have high blood pressure, that is another story. If you're, like for us women, sometimes our hormones, okay, we would need to know how are we doing with the hormones. Are you at a stage where you want to lose weight and still give birth at a later stage? Or are you menopausal? So there are many things in between there that we need to understand before you undertake a fast. But as a basic rule, fasting or adjusting diets, adjusting how we eat, is one of the most effective ways of losing weight, but most importantly, maintaining yourself at that weight you've done what? You've lost. If you go for things like intermittent fasting and you go into burning fat, you'll feel a bit energetic and alert, but that energy, for example, is not enough for exercises. So you find if you're doing intermittent fasting and you're doing the longer hours, we do not recommend heavy physical exercise because you don't have that kind of energy. And so I think you just get it from the tips I'm giving you that it's kind of difficult to say everybody do it this way.
So now if someone wants to go for wellness checkup to get this advice, where can we find you?
I have a medical wellness center.
Yes.
Chiraka Sangati Road. But I called it the same, Dr. A, Medical Wellness Center. I can help you to structure that. But there are also other medical wellness centers. Go and see your doctor for a full checkup. If there is a disease process in there, like for me, information is power, okay? And if we are to look at all these things we are discussing, I want, as women, you need to know, like, where did it go wrong?
Yeah.
You know, for those who are not yet where we are, how do you stop yourself from getting to where we are? For those of us who are already with the challenges of weight, how do we find out? How do we go back to what we desire? How do we maintain ourselves there, etc.? Okay. Wow. So I would recommend, yes, visit a medical wellness center. And just to highlight, medical wellness is different from purely wellness. One is a subset of the other, okay? But when I say medical wellness, I'm not talking about the spas and the massage. And
now,
etc.
that's what I was about to ask you that. Please clarify, because people say, I think there is a spa that I can go to around Kira Kasangati Road.
No. When I say medical wellness, I'm speaking how I assess you, your lifestyle, and I show you how to prevent diseases like hypertension, like diabetes if you're not yet there. How do you live a healthy life, okay? How do you keep your body
Cancer.
healthy? If you're already diabetic at medical wellness, I will take you through calorie management. Do you understand it, okay? Do you understand why they say you're diabetic? What the medicines are doing for you, what foods you should eat, what you should avoid. How do you know I'm losing control or I'm in control, okay?
What about people who have, like if you're from a cancer family and it is known?
Maybe that wouldn't fall under medical wellness. That would require maybe like the institute itself, they screen you for the cancer genes, for those who want to screen.
But doctor, why I'm asking you, because I've had people in my family who have got cancer, like even just in the village, and they tell them to go completely off the diet that they have been, to start eating raw. And for some reason it has helped. So does that fall under wellness, or it is still medical wellness, or it goes back to the Cancer Institute instructions?
It's both. But this one now, yes, we know that diets, calories influence the progress of certain diseases. We know that certain foods trigger certain conditions, or they make it worse, okay? For example, if you're already hypertensive, I would be concerned about the amount of salt you're taking in your meals, okay? I would be concerned about the amount of calories you're taking in, because you don't want to gain weight again when you have. If you're diabetic, the same. So also with cancer, there are those things we look at, okay? The other thing I would maybe also bring in, what people sometimes are worried about is that divide between the formal medicine and then our herbs, our spices, and everything. So when you come to Dr. A's Medical Wellness Center, I help you to understand both sides, and we strike a balance for what is best suited for you. So yes, there are those herbs we know they have medicinal value, or they are good for our diets, they are good for our nutrition, they'll help our eyes, you know. For us, we are flexible. What we do is we approach wellness from the root cause. Okay. Yeah. So that, and we focus more on teaching you, so that you can become your own doctor. Like, I don't want you to depend so much on what? On the doctors.
All the time. The doctor, the ribs are paining me. I cannot do this. Because let me tell you, Dr. A, I worked on radio before I came to TV, and it was one of the most interesting things I used to enjoy. When you're doing a health program and you're passing information, and clearly you have told people that you are not a medical personnel, but you're telling them about some of the things you've said, that you call a doctor, and then a doctor maybe is in a guest this time, then tomorrow you expound on what the expert has said. People would still say, me, I'm calling, the neck is paining me, what should I eat? So all those things are there. But before, we shall come back and then you clarify that. For now, we are going to go for a break. Remember to watch UBC TV Super Soul Sisters every Wednesday 9 p.m. and a repeat on Friday 11 a.m. And then you can also catch us on YouTube, still Super Soul Sisters. My name is Jamila Oluka. Let's go for a break. We shall be right back. Welcome back to Super Soul Sisters. My name is Jamila Oluka, and you're still watching us here on UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. I told you before we went for a break, UBC TV airs this program every Wednesday 9 p.m. I repeat on Friday 11 a.m. and also you can get us on YouTube. Before we went for a break, we were here with Dr. Agnes Babra.
Yes.
We call her Dr. A. Now, doctor, there are people already who are in this have problems with weight. They have struggled. How, maybe you can help us explain from the medical perspective what brings that and how we can manage already existing people with existing problems.
Now, losing weight or being small per se does not necessarily mean you're healthy. And whereas, yes, we know extremes of weight are not good, the main target is, can we be healthy? So for some people to be healthy, we need to gain some weight. For some people to be healthy, we need to replace some deficient vitamins, replace some minerals, okay? For some, we need to rebuild the muscle bulk, the proteins. Others, it's an absence of collagen or calcium, okay? Others, it's an excess of fat that we need to do. You're getting, so to decide which direction you take, you'd need the services of people like me to help analyze your lifestyle and what you want to achieve. And you get guided guidance. Social media gives guidance, people give guidance, but there is what we call guided guidance. But let me take you just a little bit. What are the principles that we use within our medical wellness center? One, everything, I believe, because even from the Chinese medicine, everything that makes us sick, we take in. Either through the mouth, or through the nose, or through the skin, but whatever makes us sick was not originally part of our bodies. We take it in, okay? It gets in there and it distorts whatever it does. The second principle that I strongly believe in is that the body has the ability to treat itself. And how it will treat itself, from all the studies that I've seen, the body can repair itself when it is in a state of starvation. But not the other starvation without enough minerals and water, the proper starvation. It triggers a process we call autophagy.
You know? Doctor, before you go to autophagy or something, what is proper starvation?
Like I explained, the intermittent fasting. You're fasting, but you're making sure the body has enough water, enough electrolytes, okay? So that you're fasting to burn fat. You are not fasting to dehydrate the body and deny it of the basic mechanisms for life. So that's what I call proper fasting, okay? I told you I'll not venture into the religious focused fasting. I'm not a guru in that one, but I'll go medical. For me, you to properly fast, I would want to make sure you're well hydrated, very important, and your electrolytes are balanced, because I want you strong and healthy, not weak and collapsing, etc. But let's come back to how the body repairs itself. When I say the body repairs itself in a state of starvation, let's look cleanly on when you fall sick or when a child falls sick. What is the first thing that goes away? It's your appetite. The body is telling you, do not give me, don't pump me with food. Give me a bit of space so that I can treat myself. But what do? You know what we do. Hold the spoon.
Gravity.
No?
They give you, they say, give that person some tomatoes so that it brings appetite.
For the very sick who are brought in hospital, we don't start by pumping food. What we do is restore their electrolytes. When did the person last eat? Okay, we need some normal saline, we need some salt, we need some, we balance, we put the water back and the electrolytes.
That's why when you go to hospital, they first put you on that drip.
To allow the body now, it communicate properly to us exactly where is the problem. Now, the other thing I would also say is we have different bodies. Some are endoforms, small structures. Some are mesoforms, average. I'm an ectoform. I'm very broad, okay? At home, we are all tall.
So from where do I fall? In ectoform.
You will visit and we shall do the
proper whatever investigation.
So, but I'll use myself as an example. My kind of body structure with my height, we are heavy. The bony structure is heavy. Sometimes I lose weight. I'm a bit complacent, but I know how to lose the weight. And I reduce from sizes 22 of trousers to size 16. But when I go on the weighing scale, the difference appears very little. But the difference, if I used a tape measure, the diameters, the difference is very significant. Now, the weighing scale will not discourage me, because what I was aiming at was to tone, remove the flabby body, be a bit more, tone. So maybe I've replaced protein. I've replaced fat with protein. Protein is a bit heavier than fat. But all that said, with all the theories people have, it is important that you understand your body. Where would I want you to start from? I would start from a full body checkup. Especially if you're 30 years and above, we need full body checkups. Okay? For the women, for the women routinely, as long as a woman of reproductive age, every once a year, please go and they check the breast, because we know the breast cancers are very rampant now. Get a pap smear. Cervical cancers are very rampant now. Okay? For the men, we need to check on the prostate. Okay? But the men also these days are featuring things like breast cancer. You're seeing cancers in them that we did not know exist. Okay? Check on we call it the glucose tolerance, your ability to manage sugar. Can you get help before you become fully diabetic? How is your blood pressure? You understand, okay? Even mental health, okay? There are those who have very good, simple questionnaires, but in taking you through them, they can tell whether you have taken on defensive or you're withdrawing, or they have their terminologies. Yes. But get a medical checkup. We provide those medical checkups at Dr. A Medical Wellness Center, and you're welcome to get that. Now, after we've determined where you stand, then we help you draw a map. If you're healthy, and I hope you're healthy, okay, then we work with you to ensure that you sustain yourself in good health. We will even teach you what are those, how does the body communicate when it's not well? One of the ways is poor sleep. The other way is there's poor sleep, there is unexplained weight gain. Your diet is the same, the things you eat are the same, but for some reason this time you're gaining unnecessary weight, and you also can't explain where it's coming from. Okay? The other things like dehydration, irritability, fatigue.
Yes.
You are tired all the time. Even with 8 hours of sleep, you still wake up tired. So the body talks. The question is, are we able to listen? So what we do at the wellness, we teach you to listen to your body. And we teach you simple, basic ways. I encourage, especially, this is one of the tricks. I encourage people who are, especially, let's say 35 and above.
Yes.
Once in a while, when you urinate somewhere, okay, observe what happens after. If you see insects coming around your urine, then your urine is sweet. And you find people who are diagnosed with severe diabetes, and they say, "Oh, I observed for 3 months."
That means when what you take in comes out the way it is in the urine, like if you've taken too much sugars?
No. When your body loses control of sugar, diabetes, okay, excess sugar will appear also in the urine. But you know, to do the glucose test, sometimes it's triggered by someone tells you, please do this. But there are certain subtle communicators, okay? Like we've said, if you're sleeping poorly, please check. Either improve on your hydration levels, stop taking carbs before you sleep, okay? Reduce on the coffees. Or, like this one I'm saying, be observant. The color of urine, the smell of urine. I've seen diabetics and they tell you, by the way, for the last 4 months, I've been wondering why in my toilet at home, after I susu, sometimes I find these little insects all over, and they used not to come. Then I say, oh, your body had already told you.
And the smell of urine is too strong.
It's not the smell of urine. Those insects like the sweet.
No, but I'm saying there are some people who have very strong scent of urine.
Oh, yeah, the color. If it's very, very yellow, it's dark, you're not taking in enough water. Okay? And the way to approach it is to take in water. To the men, we talk about gout. Yes, gout, I ate red meat, but for me, gout is worsened, or for me, gout is a disease of dehydration. Yes, you've eaten the meat, you get excess uric acid, but you're taking it with beer, which is making you lose more water. So this uric acid will concentrate into crystals and go into your joints. But if you're well hydrated, the uric acid will also, it will be a problem there, but it will not concentrate to the level of settling in your what? In your joints. So for me, hydration is a very, very important feature. Our teenagers, our ladies, before we spend millions, skin products and all this, one of the first things that repairs the skin is enough water. Make it a habit to drink enough water and observe what happens to your skin, what happens to your hair, you know, what happens to your breath in the morning, how you feel about, like water. And we agreed water is in the different forms, okay?
Yes.
When you're not fasting, water is also, sometimes you can eat it. We have fruits that have a lot of water, watermelon, cucumbers, you know, but make sure your body has enough water. Wow. The rest of the plants are, we tailor them to you, your environment, your financial capacity, okay? Some people say dieting is very expensive. No. Some diet plans actually help you save money.
For me, I also know dieting is expensive because there are sometimes they tell you get broccoli, cauliflower, red and yellow pepper, all those things. When you go to the market, they start from 5,000, 4,000 if you go to the... So there's something that you're supposed to buy. Let's say if you went to the market and you're buying your nakati, a few things, your meat, half a kilo or a kilo, and you buy those things, you find that you're spending 40,000. But when you go on vegetables and fruits, the budget can shoot up to about 70,000. So
that is because you've taken on that as your diet plan. And that's exactly what I'm saying. We look even into your financial ability. For most of the Ugandans today, the ones I recommend to, we go intermittent fasting. You're spending more hours drinking coffee, no sugar, tea, no sugar, herbal teas, you know. So even your expenses on sugar go down. When you come to eating your meals, you're going to eat a regular meal that has been cooked by the family. It is your matoke and your beans, matoke and your meat.
Okalo.
You understand? But because you have an eating window. Of course, we shall talk about making sure even this meal is balanced. Okay? Yes. We say, yes, let it have some starch, some carbohydrates. Please make sure there is a vegetable. But we will not be so particular in saying it has to be green pepper or yellow pepper or red pepper. And then some people say you have to eat the size of your hand. That the size of your hand. I'm just bringing things so that these are things that, doctor, well, I'm not saying as Jamila, but these are things we discuss in our groups of gossiping and what we say. You eat, but after this hard work, then I eat a thumb of my hand. I will still remain hungry. So what can you tell us about that also? Let me stick to intermittent fasting. I understand it a lot better. I recommend that once you've chosen to fast, make sure when the window for eating comes, you eat enough food. What we influence is the ratios between the starch, the proteins, and you don't want to take too much fat and too much sugar for the body to spend the whole night storing what it had burnt again during the day. You'll find that you're doing the intermittent fasting, but you're not seeing the results. The second thing that influences is how fast do you want to lose the weight? What do you want to achieve? I have clients who are they're even bigger than me, but they want to go back to their routine, their exercise life. Okay? So we agree with them, before you put more pressure on your joints with your current weight, let's first take the weight down. Okay? So with those ones, yes, they'll lose the fat, but because I know that their next phase is going to be very physical, heavy protein, they will rebuild and tone their body. So we need to sit and we discuss.
Wow.
But for me, if you asked me, intermittent fasting is affordable. So it just needs to be guided, and we guide. Regardless of where you are in Uganda, you'll not fail to get what to eat for intermittent fasting.
Sure.
You don't have to have meat to get the proteins. You can get mushrooms. You can get eggs. Okay. Actually, eggs are very important in this. Okay. And eggs are one of the most common diets we are having.
Wow.
Somebody asked me, but the only thing I can afford in the evening is a Rolex. Chapati. Then I said, okay, if it's going to be chapati and eggs, can you get some beans, maybe soup, or can we get some greens to escort, or can you eat a fruit? Something to escort that, okay? And he chose a diet, he chose the 8 hours, but eventually did 18 hours and then 6. Because we discussed the speed at which you want to lose weight, okay? Yes. So yes, chapati would not be the best in terms of, it's high carbohydrate and everything. But we need to be realistic with what somebody can achieve and afford. If you don't do that, then it's not sustainable. It becomes something artificial. Now, the last time I saw this young man, the stomach has reduced. And he says, but by the way, chapati yange, namaziga yange, and what my fruit.
Now, doctor?
So that is what the Dr. A medical wellness does. We tailor it, we adapt it to your environment, to your likes, some to your religion, but to make it more sustainable and possible for you.
Now, doctor, the other thing I wanted to ask is, we have children, because of the way the lifestyle has changed. We have children who are dealing with obesity. Yeah. And some of them, I call them children, because if a child is still ongoing, that means they're still children, because they're under our care. So what age can someone start intermittent fasting?
It all starts with parental concern. Look at your child but my baby is growing very big, okay? Consult. It could be something else and not necessarily the food, okay? But if I visit childhood obesity as it is today, we are feeding children with a lot of snacks, junk, KFC, chips, For me, I don't want to say that at what age do you do this. If the child is already obese, just bring at any time we sit to do an assessment and guide you on what the child can do. For me, I would want to approach this current issue of childhood obesity from the parents. Okay?
Because we are the ones who feed.
Yeah, the ones who feed. We want, and you don't blame them. You may find the environment they're in, what is labeled junk is the most available. Okay? Look at parents who are working in the fast food industry. The food available is what they are also providing to the customer. Yes. But how do you ensure that you don't cross that? Okay? So we've designed packages we'll be sensitizing through the schools, sensitizing parents. We want to interest some schools in things, especially for children who spend more time at school. Can they have a bit more physical time? One of the things I like that the medical center does for schools, we introduced what we call a wellness dance. At this school, between 4 and 4:30, regardless of where you are, they play quick music. Make the child dance, and everyone should dance. Yeah, what are we trying to achieve?
Including the teachers.
Including the teachers. What are we trying to achieve? We are trying to make these people a bit more active to burn the calories they loaded at lunchtime before the .com mother, Jamila, picks the child and
text
goes via KFC, you know.
The drive.
You're getting it.
Yes.
So anyway, that for the schools, for the childhood obesity, yes, we do help them. But I think it's a bigger societal problem that we also need to work together and see where else to approach it from. But we do help them. So for me, as long as a parent, you have concern over the weight of a child, we do things like the BMI calculations, the height over the weight squared. So there are those calculations we can do. Once you have a concern as a parent, trust me, as a parent, you're gifted.
Wow.
You are gifted to know that it's right or it's not wrong.
Wow,
so
thank you very much, Dr. A. I'm really so happy that you came. There are so many assumptions that I had in my brain that you've cleared, but also I want to encourage people who are out there. I'll soon come to you because I also need to get back to the other shape that I used to be. And for women who are above 35, you've heard what she has said. You just need to visit her and she gives you a work plan. Depending on where you are, don't fear the prices. She will attend to you the way you can manage and remain as a Super Soul Sisters, because in Super Soul Sisters we make sure we want you to be healthy, we want the students to go to school, we want you to understand your environment, and the only place you can go if you want to know about, you know, preventive measures, you go to Dr. A's Medical Center, which is around Kasangati, Kira Road. But also I think you can get her online. Once you Google Dr. A Medical Center, you will surely get a contact and you'll contact her. For now, I want to thank you again for watching UBC TV. Thank you, Dr. A, for coming. Yeah, you've been such a very great, inspiring guest. And for all the team that is behind Super Soul Sisters, the camera people, the editing team, the production, and UBC TV, thank you so much for making sure that such a nice program goes to the right people. My name is Jamila Oluka. You have a lovely day.